Oduor, and we are all here as friends, but only one person will speak briefly on behalf of the friends, and that will be Silas Jakakimba. Please.
It's a little... Excellency the President, Prime Minister Odinga, and Madam Caro, George Neluonge ni Nyamera, and fellow monarchs. I bring my pole to Madam Caro and the people of Alego Seje, Jodalagi George, Okepe George, Nyikepene, Ganyola Duto, Gijo Alego, Jo Game, to Gijo Rieda, Kelo Pole Maga Makende, Kumlalo George. I'll be brief, as we had agreed. PM, it's not easy, Timon and George, but because I've been told to represent friends, I'll try. I first met George at the University of Nairobi, I think around 2002 or 2003. There was an event where the Prime Minister came to do a public lecture, organized by the then Odhiambo professor and another. And as a young law student, we used to look up to our seniors. Ted Munovu was the chairman then, Ken Obura. So we walked from Parklands to main campus. And when the Prime Minister, after doing his public lecture, went upstairs to the so-called senior common room, then our leaders also followed him up there. I decided to go say hi to this gentleman that came with the Prime Minister. Telo Bear Ainya. That is how our friendship began with George. And he's held my hands over the years. Along the way, some months later, he told me, Ane no Kenya thima longo, biateri musane Jakom. Notera Jakom at a venue called the United Kenya Club. And I did lunch with Jakom. I think that day there was also Francis Ogola. And thank you, Jakom, for the time shared. The honor I had to serve you through George is not a small thing. Moving on to just recently, I don't want to speak to our friendship. It's a long time of friendship. George and Caro are always on the island, the so-called the Promised Island Mfangano. And I said the other day, the first time they came, you know, when visitors come to visit us, Daktari, we do fish. So George did not eat fish. He said, ni eno kochamarech, he didn't do fish. He had to eat eggs as we destroyed the samaki. So one thing is, George, though he comes from the lakeside, is one of the few people from this area who never did fish and hated fish. Whenever he goes to his in-laws, the Lambwe people are here, rather Karachunyu people who live in Suba, in Lambwe, I was always by his side. Whenever I did, of course, my ceremonies at my in-laws, George was always there, and of course, alongside Fidel Odinga. So the friendship has been there for a long time. In fact, Kano Godalaka, when he was doing his house, the home here, Excellency and Prime Minister, George invited me, in spite of my young age, to come and do the two trees by the gate, this side. And he did the same for me when I was doing my residence at Jakakimba. He came with Madam, and they did the same thing at my residence at the gate, the two trees. So thank you so much. But coming to recently, I know Bruce tried speaking, and I don't want to talk about his sickness, but I just want to tell you people, because most people are calling me asking, did George have an accident? George really struggled the last 3 weeks, and PM, thank you so much. In spite of your tight schedules, you are going to Sudan, coming back, checking in. You even came to the hospital, it was tough, and you told me, Silas, this is terrible. But you always found time to come and offer moral support, so thank you so much. I know there's something we want to do away with in terms of Thanksgiving. It's called vote of thanks. So thank you, Jakom, for everything. and the moral support. You remember the day you came when he was in ICU second time? He opened his eyes for the first time in 4 days of ICU when he came with Maurice and Upondo. And that really encouraged him. In fact, the last word I think he uttered was Erokamano to Jacom. So asante sana. Thank you, Excellency, the President, through Dr. Omolo. Your moral support has always been around us. But George, as I told PM, is a strong man. He went through this thing bravely. He was very brave. From home, he went to ICU, did HDU for around 9 days, went back to ICU, but he was very brave and strong throughout. And thank you, PM, for the honor. You called me to your office and told me, Silas, I want you to coordinate this thing. And of course, I asked PM, could we have Dr. Tienda Molo to support? Because PM told me, I don't want a funeral committee. And I know, he's been in denial. I know Prime Minister Odinga almost very well. He's paining, he's grieving. And I told you, Daktari, he told me, still, I don't want a committee. Committee for what? Committee Marango. You know, I'll not say much because he's in pain and I understand him. But he was gracious enough to allow us to have Daktari to handle this space. So asante sana for the honor to do this, and God bless you. On behalf of all friends, we say asanteni for the support. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. And the church, Bishop, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gospel relatives, mbarikiwe. Pastor Evelyn, Yesu pod manaruo. Thank you, Prime Minister and President.
Thank you, Silas. Excellency, do not let Jakakimba mislead you that there's only one promised island. We have serious islands on Lake Victoria, and all of them are promised.
Sorry, I forgot. There are colleagues that we served with at the Prime Minister's office, and they have been coming around, both at home, in the hospital, and here. Kasuku, Maina, and the entire team, even Dennis Onyango and Kina Ibrahim, you are still there. Your support is appreciated, and God bless you.
We have the Luo Council of Elders. I want